In today's video, we are going to design this professional looking church flyer. So if this is something you are interested in, kindly follow along and let's get started. And before that, if you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification button so that anytime I upload a video like this, you'll be the first person to get notified. And if you are a subscriber, I salute you and I want to say thank you for coming back to this channel. Alright, so before you start this design, I would like to say this. The original design was from Pinterest. So this is not the original design. This is what I have designed out of it. Alright. So for you to get every picture of the design process, I would like us to start all over again. Okay, now that the new project has been created, let's know the size of this particular flyer. Alright, so you click on the three dots up here, then you go to image size, and the size I'm using is 904 by 1280. Okay, then you hit OK. So if it will come with a blank document like this. Now the next thing you have to do is to manipulate your background to give you the perfect looking flyer that you want at the end. So the first thing in the background manipulation will be the element. So from here I'll go and bring the element on board. Alright, this is the first element. So you may be wondering how I got this element. It's very simple. I downloaded a cloud from PNG Wings and I imported it. So just to show you how, I'm going in there to bring the file again. Alright, so here is it. Now because I want it to be looking like this first one, I will change the color to this particular color. So that brings us to the color codes that we'll be using on this particular flyer. So let me go and import the color codes onto the canvas. Alright, okay, so this is the color code we'll be using in this particular flyer. I'll leave the color code and any other resources in the description. Okay, so I chose the third color for this particular one. Right, I hope you can see it clearly. This one. Alright, okay, so let me just click on this cloud here and go to color. I'll click on this button here. I'll click on this button here. Then I'll change the color. I'll enable it and I'll change the color to. Now if you want to choose the color that I've just talked about, you click on this plus here, then you come to the color picker here. This color picker. Then from here you click on any of the colors you want to be specific, this particular one, then you hit OK. So you can see the color has changed to the first one. So let me just delete this one quickly and use the first one. So I'll come to the relative size and increase the size to fit the canvas, and I'll hit OK and position it to the top. Alright, so the next thing is to bring another cloud which will be looking white so that it will appear like a real cloud. Alright, so I'm going to import the cloud here. Alright, here's the cloud, the same cloud, and I've changed the saturation. Here is how you change the saturation. You come to color filters, then you change the saturation and the hue over here. Manipulate it the way you want it to look like. You can even change the color to plain white. So from here I can change the saturation. As you can see, the saturation is changing. So let me just leave it at -3. You can even play with the hue right here, but because I want it to be looking white, I'll just leave it at 0. So I'll hit OK, then I'll come back to relative size and increase it to fill the canvas. Now I'll position it right above this first cloud. Now I will copy this cloud, position it on top of this one several times. Alright, so I think this is okay. Then I'll come back to my layers panel and lock all this one. Alright, I'm halfway through the background manipulation. So I will pause here and bring my shape on board. The shape that the men of God will be on, I'll bring them on board. So I've already imported them already, so just bring them on board, like this particular one. So how did I achieve this particular effect? So I'm going to teach you how to achieve this one. Okay, let me just import it afresh. Alright, so I'm going to my gallery to import it once again. So I have it saved already, so I'll just click on it and bring it in there. Please don't crop it, okay? I will share this shape too in the description. So you come to relative size and you drag it all the way to fill the canvas. So this is how it's going to be. Now the men of God too, I have positioned them already. So I'll just for the sake of clarity, I'll position them again, but I'm going to bring the first one that I have positioned already on board. Okay, so let me quickly teach you how to do this. I'll go to gallery to import the men of God once again. So alright, so the first one, this is the host, so it will just be in the middle right here. I'll bring the second one too on board. The second man of God, it's alright, so I'll bring this one to and position it right here like this. So let me reduce the size a bit. So just make sure you get what you want whilst positioning it. So this one is everyone and his or her preference. Okay, so I'll just copy this one just for the sake of the tutorial. I'll copy this one and bring it right here. So I have the third man of God, but I'll bring it when I'm continuing the design process. Alright, so I'll just position this one like this, and I'll make sure that this two is behind the first man of God, like this. Have you seen it? So like this, I'll clear everything from the background. I'll make sure everything is erased perfectly, including the cloud. So I'll hide them, and this shape should remain, and these ones too. Alright, so I'll save the men of God like this. Alright, I'll save them like this. Then I will go back and hide the men of God. I'll hide this men of God like this and unlock this particular one and save this shape to like this. Are you getting what I'm trying to prove? So you save it without the color pattern. Sorry, let me remove the color palette here. Okay, so you save this one to like this. Why are we saving it? We are saving it because we want to import those same pictures as texture into the shape. Alright, so once that is done, let me just delete this men of God because I don't need them any longer, just for the sake of the tutorial. Then I'll go and unlock all these ones. So for me, I have them in my panel list already, so there's no need. But for you, you have to import them. That's why I'm leaving every resource in the description for you to see. Alright, so I'll just unlock these ones like this. Then I'll click on this one, this shape here. I'll click on the shape, then I'll move to texture. Because I have saved the men of God already, I'll come to my gallery and import them as texture. So here is it. Can you see that? This one. Alright, so I'll click on it and do not crop. Alright, so if you import it, it will show something like this. Now don't worry if the head of the men of God is not showing outside, because we actually want them to show outside. Don't panic, just click on the plus icon again, then from gallery, and import those men of God again. So I'm importing them again, and do not crop it. Alright, don't crop it. Come to relative size, or relative size, sorry. Then you increase it to fill. Now you can see it is filling the top of the shape. So you can see the head of the man of God at the top of the shape. But here is the problem. If you check, you see the down here outside the shape, but I want everything to be in the shape. How do we do that? Now you come to this tool right here, this tool, this mask tool. Yes, so you come here, then you click on it, and then enable. If you enable, you bring the knob, this knob here, you send it up, alright, in a way that all the men of God will be out. Can you see that? So something like this is cool. Alright, then you click OK. Now you can see it's perfectly fitting inside the shape. So we are done with the top part of the background, the men of God in the shape. Now the next thing is to create this effect. This particular effect I was talking about, this one, this particular effect, this one right here. Okay, so let's go back to our Pixellab and continue. So how did I create that? First of all, we make use of this tool called before then, make sure that no tool is selected, no shape or element is selected. Alright, okay, so everything is gone. Now this Bezier tool here is what we are going to make use of. This is not this one. This Bezier tool here is what we are going to make use of. So I'll click on the Bezier tool and it will give you this X looking how do you call it, with two anchor points. So let me just undo that and click on it again. So I'll click here to make it look like this. Alright, so this particular place, take your time to do it so that it will look perfect and straight. Alright, so I'll increase the stroke here and the stroke color to green. So let me just click here and select my color palette, this green here. Alright, so let me do it this way rather. I'm bringing this one here, sending this here, because if you look at this arrow, here, it is pointing to the right, so meaning that we have to start from the left and towards the right side, so that when we want to add another anchor point, it will be to the right of the previous one. Okay, so like this, we position it to be straight. So this is just for the sake of the tutorial. I'm going to import the one that I've created already, and I will share that as well in the description. So all you have to do is to download it and import it on your design, or try your hands like the way I'm doing it. Make sure you try your hands on it. Okay, so the more you practice, the more perfect you become. Alright, so this is the first one. So I'll leave it like this. Then I'll add another point to this side. Okay, so I'll just try and straighten this one too as well. So you can do it the way you want it to look like. This one has no special whatever. Okay, be to your liking. Okay, so I'll hit on this button here, this button, this one, this close button. I'll hit on it to complete the circle. But before I hit on it, I'll come and okay, let me just hit on it. So if you close the circle, then you come to your fill. So I want to fill in with color. I'm filling it with white. So this is basically how I achieve that effect. Now the next thing is to just hit the check icon and enlarge it so that it will it will come up a bit like this. I'll just rotate it a bit so that it will be okay for me. Now I'm going to bring a shape on board. So I'll bring a shape like this and use it to merge with it. So I want the down to be just white. Okay, like this. So I'll just click on check and I'll click on the layers panel, click on this tree, this thing over here, then I'll check these two and merge them. Okay, so it has been merged, as you can see it's there already. But for me, I want to use the previous one that I used, so I'll delete this one. Alright, I'll delete this one and bring the previous one that I designed. So the one I've just showed you is just for the sake of the tutorial. Alright, so I'll send it up. Send it up to be above this. As you can see, we are halfway through. Then let me bring my background to be white so that you can cover the remaining spaces there. So I think this is doing the magic. Alright, so the next thing is to just bring your texts on board because we are almost through, and the other elements. So from here, I might be speeding up from here. So first of all, let's bring this one on board. Where is it? The theme. So we are bringing the theme on board. Supernatural. So this one you can just type it yourself. You can use any font you want, but then again, the font that I use, I will share the fonts in the description for you. So I'll open it, and then I'll bring this one to on board. What is it? Alright, so I'm bringing the theme to front. So this one, I have them already. You can just type them yourself then. So this one too, I use the color pattern for it. You can see this side of the text is brighter, this part is brighter, and this part is darker. So now I want this activating the supernatural to be on a certain kind of level that I'll be bringing a circle beneath it to make it more attractive. So this is really not necessary, but for it to give a nice feel or look of the design, I am bringing it on board. So I have this one too already, so I'm just going to bring it to the top, and then I'll show you how I created this one too as well. So I'm sending it to the top. Yes, so as you can see, it's right at the top here. So how did I create this? You just come to this place and you create a circle. So if you create a circle, you come to opacity and you reduce the opacity to 0. Then you increase the stroke to about 7 or 6. Let's go with 8. Then you change the stroke color to green. Now this green is a bit darker, so I'll click here and come down to somewhere here. That to be a little bit darker. Then I'll click check. Then I'll come back here and I'll position it to be at where exactly I want it to be. Now if you send this circle to the down, it will be a perfect circle and it will be overlapping with the text. Alright, so what I did over here is to create another shape. So I created another shape like this. So like this, if you can see. Then I reduce the opacity to be able to see through it. Then I know where exactly to cut it from. Alright, so this is what I did. So just follow the tutorial. Alright, so I want it to cut right here, and I'll just increase the opacity and go and merge it like this. So I'll click here and merge the two. So if after you merge the two, you erase the white out of it. So you come to erase color, which is showing right here. Erase color. So I'll click on it, enable it, and as you can see, the white is gone. So I'll just increase the tolerance a bit and check it. So this is how I created this effect, as you can see. Alright, so let me just delete this because I have it there already. Now the next thing is to bring the other texts and the other events on board, and I'm as well going to follow this particular part so you can follow along. I have them in here, you just have to type them yourself. Alright, so I'm just going to bring them on board. So if you make it through this video and to this part, please consider subscribing to my channel. It will really help me a lot, and it will also motivate me to do more tutorials for you guys. Alright, so I'm just bringing the texts on to the canvas. Alright, these ones, they will take time, so I just type them already and I'm bringing them, so you can actually type them yourself and position it exactly the way it is appealing on my design here. Okay, so I'll bring a guest speaker to up, up, up. Then I'll bring this text to up, 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 and up. I'll continue with all these texts. So okay, so as you can see, the name for the men of God are already there. So let's continue with the church logo and the text over there. So here's the church logo. Just bring it on board. You can see it's right there. Then the name of the church, okay, is also there. So I've positioned all these ones already. Okay, so let's continue with this side. Alright, so here we are. Now the next thing is to bring the other speakers on board. So this one, so I'll leave it in the description. No need to recreate them yourself. But if you want me to do another tutorial on how I created those ones, I'll be very glad to help. So just write it in the comment section, then I'll do another tutorial on that particular one. It's not actually difficult. It's more or less like this, but the top one that we did here. It's just like this one that we did here. So this one, I just crop it directly from the original altar because I didn't want to waste much time. Sorry for that. I just copy it directly from the original altar. So we are done with our design. Thanks for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed and learned something from this design. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and until the next video, bye bye.